Here, back to make the estimate for the YieldMax funds on what will be paid in the month of April. As always, this is just an estimate, or we can call it a guesstimate, based on the information that I have available to me. So don't be going buying the funds based on what I say, because you will have plenty of time. You'll have a whole day to buy it, because YieldMax always declares the morning of declaration date, which gives you that whole day, to get into the shares if you wanted to buy before the ex-dividend date. So, I think it's important that I do mention that. But anyway, we're doing this video for fun and entertainment, as always, because it is fun. I have fun doing it. I think you guys have fun, doing your calculations after. Maybe I run the numbers or other YouTubers, but in the end, it is fun. But anyway, declaration date is April 3rd, which is next week. It's Wednesday. Today is Saturday, so I figured I'd get it out early, because what's the difference? Essentially adding in data for Monday and Tuesday, not going to be enough. If it was a Friday, obviously I'd have to include it, but I'm going to use the data I have up until now, and then we'll go from there. Also, ULTI is under the fund of funds, and they declare April 16th. However, ULTI does not rely on the other funds to, make their declaration. So I'm going to add ULTI to my estimate calculation this month and going forward. And another thing I'm going to do probably next month, if time allows, is I'm going to do them live. Either live, or I'm just going to fill it in live. You know what I mean? I don't know if the video per se will be live, but because I think it's more fun that way. It's more genuine. So I'll just fill in the spreadsheet and give my estimate, either, again, live streaming if you guys prefer that, or I would just do it as I'm recording, because I think that would be a little more fun. So anyway, for this month, obviously I already filled it in, so let's get to it. So I'll pull up on the screen at least the last 2 months' payments, and then I'll pull up the April estimate. So TSLY. Well, first let's go to my spreadsheet for TSLY. For any of these funds where I have the spreadsheet, we'll just look at the end result. So obviously, yes, I calculate the synthetic income, the short call income, when all said and done for TSLY. So if we just used the synthetic income, obviously we're not getting paid, because that was a loss this month. And all income, synthetic income plus short call income is a loss this month. If you just look at short call income, that's 37 cents. I do not believe they would ever make a payment of 37 cents, because that yield, just so you guys know, let's see, I have 72. But if they paid 37, that would be a 27% yield. So, and what they always say, at least what I hear, is they try to yield, sorry guys, I still have a cough. They try to yield what their IV is, right? So if we go to what Tesla's 30-day IV is, it's 56%. So I'm going to try going forward to use that thinking, plus or minus, potential synthetic insane gains. But when there's insane synthetic gains, you have to include it too. So, but either way, let's look at TSLY. I think they're going to yield 53%. So I'm going to say, I'll give them an estimate of 72 cents. Again, they paid 81 cents last month, and they had no right paying that either. I think they only paid that to satisfy the reverse split naysayers. And I don't think they'll jump down to the 60-cent range right away, but I think 72 cents is going to be their sweet spot. I think it's going to be in the 70-cent range overall for the month, which is not bad based on what the price is. But again, just historically, it sucks. Anyway, let's move on. OARC overall for the month, I have, by the way, on the far right, in case you don't know, I added these columns, which it takes, the payment of, 3/6, I believe, was X date, right? 3/6. Hopefully there's no delay. So if I go to covered call ETFs, 3.6, yes, was X date, okay? So I take the price of the ETF on X date, and then I get the last closing date before I do this video, and I subtract the two. So as you see, TSLY went up 12 cents, OARC went up 45 cents. So now I take that into consideration, especially if there's massive jumps. But as far as OARC is concerned, ARC, I mean, they paid 46 cents last month. So again, this one is tricky, but I think they'll yield 37%. So I think they'll pay 42 cents. Let's look at Aptly. Aptly is always a tough one too. It jumps up, it jumps down. But if you look at the gains per share, it went up about 60 cents. So I don't think they're going to be where they were last month, but I think they'll pay 33 cents, which is a 23% yield. NVIDIA, I think this is going to be a tough one to swallow. NVIDIA only went up 52 cents. I think last month was massive. I still think they'll pay over $1. I think they'll pay $1.45, which is a 59% yield. NVIDIA's 30-day IV, if you're wondering, is 44%. So again, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. This is the one I hope I'm wrong on because I own NVIDIA, and I hope they're in the $2 range. But I don't think they have, based on the data I have. Again, this is next month. I'll have true data for NVIDIA, so I'll really have a better estimate, I would think. But this month I do not. So I'm just gonna have to say $1.45. But hopefully I'm lowballing it. Let's look at AMZY. AMZY has a good month. Gains per share $1.25. So the NAV went up $1.25 from X date to Friday or whatever, March 28th, whenever that was. I think maybe it was Thursday. But I think based on that, I think they'll pay 75 cents, which is more than last month, and that comes to a 38% yield. PYPY, I think PYPY is going to be a little lower than usual, but I still think they'll pay over $1 just by a little, $1.01, which is a 53% yield. Their gains per share were actually negative, so that kind of scared me. That made me want to say, 90 cents, 80 cents, but I own PYPY now, so maybe I'm a little biased. GUI, what do you think here, man? Whew. Check out the gains per share, $1.66. Hard to deny that. They're going to pay something good. I only gave them 43 cents, though, because I think they've had historically, again, I don't track them. I think historically, though, they have not done well. You look at the last X date, I mean, they were at $15. Like, that's horrible. So maybe we'll preserve some of the NAV, and they'll pay a 29% yield, which is 43 cents. Now, we look at Netflix. Netflix is really good, and then does average. But overall, they're up 67 cents, which is okay, nothing outstanding. So I think they'll probably be in line with last month. I think they'll pay 71 cents, which is a 45% yield. CONY, okay, CONY. Obviously, I cover CONY, so I have to pull up my spreadsheet. Hopefully, there's no delay in this video. Actually, there's probably going to be, because I forgot to restart my phone yesterday. Sorry, guys. Hopefully the delay is not too bad. Well, let me keep that in mind as I go through this going forward. All right, so here's the information on CONY. They had a really, really good month. Total income with synthetic and weekly calls, $665. Weekly calls alone, 3 cents. So we'll just look at the total income, okay? So $665 is the total income. NAV reserve, overall, like if they paid $456, their NAV would be zero. Like they're paying out everything. They're not going to pay out everything, okay? But I just wanted to show you that's how much they could pay. So let's go back to the spreadsheet. So I think I really wanted to put $3 there. I did. I wanted so bad to put $3 there, but I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think they'll pay $2.85, which I believe, I think this is their highest payment if they do make it this high. But $2.85 is a 115% yield. So that's not bad at all. But yeah, I always said $2 to $3 range, and I wanted to put 3, but it's hard for me to think they're going to do that because, especially, again, we got like Bitcoin halving coming up. We don't know what's going to happen in crypto. So maybe they do want to preserve some of that NAV, for later. Like some of this income that they have, they'll have to pay out 90% of it, sure. But they got time. They could save it for later. All right, let's look at DSO. What a month they had, man. $1.51 up in price. So they're gonna do better, to me, in my opinion, better than last month. So I think they're gonna pay 81 cents, 43% yield. So DSO continues to do very well. MSFO, they went up 99 cents. It's okay. That's pretty good, Overall for Microsoft, they've been flying high though. So I think we're gonna have a slight cut from last month, but still 74 cents, 39% yield. Zomo had a really good month for them. They haven't moved much. They moved up $1.04. That's pretty damn good. So I think they're gonna beat last month. I think they're gonna pay 35 cents, which is a 22% yield. And then JPMO, I think they'll pay around what they did last month because they had a pretty good month as well. I think they'll pay 47 cents, which is a 25% yield. AMDY, this one was tricky because look at the gains per share. They're down $2.38. So I had to, I don't know, the last 3 months they paid, pretty well over $1. Their implied volatility for AMDY is 43%. I got to keep this stupid delay in mind. I got to restart my phone after every video apparently. But taking that in consideration, I think AMD will yield 63%. So I'm going to go with $1.10. Again, low dollars. I wanted to go under $1, but that was really tough because, again, I'm looking at this gains per share column and it's killing me. It helps, but I don't know. Sometimes it screws me up too. All right, let's look at PP. 85 cents I'm going to go with. That's a 52% yield. That's more than last month, but look at the gains per share, $2.11. Outstanding. SQY went up at 327. I mean, I'm probably lowballing here. SQY may be in the $2 range. But I don't think they've done that well recently. So I'd like to think they'll pay $1.70 just based on the historical payments. Like, yeah, they had $1.61 in January, February, 38 cents, March, 65 cents. So maybe they'll just go with $1.70, which is an 80% yield. That's not bad at all. MSTY, I can never get this one right. So I don't even know why I try anymore. But they went up $1.35 and I think they're going to do better than last month. I lowballed them last month and I think the month before, and they proved me wrong. So I'm going to give them a little raise from last month. I'm going to say $1.25, which is a 71% yield. Okay, AIYY. Not a great month. They went down $1.49. Last month they paid $1.06. I think they'll still yield about 72%. So I think that that would be a 90-cent payment. If you look at their price, man, oh wow, I didn't even realize $14.82. That's horrible. Oof. That's bad. They may pay less than 90 cents actually. Now that I'm looking at this, but they have very high implied volatility, so it's tough. All right, MSTY. All right, let me go to my spreadsheet. Again, when I click back and forth, I have to keep in mind that this stupid delay on my phone. But here's the delay. Okay, now we're good. All right, synthetic income, 8 million. Short call income, 2 million. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, man. I'm so glad I covered this fund from the beginning. But overall net income, 10.5 million. Outstanding shares as of the last date, 1,050,000. Total income per share, $10. Short call income per share, $2.33. What are they going to pay? Who knows? Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I have no idea. I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm kind of in the middle, so I have to default to what they always say. And this is what they always say. They're going to pay around the IV. I don't agree with that, by the way. I don't like that thinking because every underlying is different. Everything moves differently. But MSTR's implied volatility 30-day is 143.5%. But on such a good month, though, they should pay more. So I'm probably lowballing this. And I'm probably going to have them leave so much on the table. But it's hard for me. It's really hard for me to think they're gonna pay $6, $7, $8. So I have to go with 550. All right, I think MSTY is going to pay $5.50, and that is a 153% yield. I know many people want more, but at the same time, why? MSTY had a great month. Next month could be horrible, right? So it'd be smart to not pay out all of the income right away. So I think 550 would be a smart move. So that's just my opinion, and my estimate is 550. FYI, gains per share, I know I track it daily, but it's showing 1237, which is crazy. All right, ULTY, which I don't really cover, I know nothing about, but ULTY gains per share, negative 132. They have not been doing well. However, I decided to, start to do at least something on ULTY, so I'm going to start to do a little coverage. So all I did here is, again, hopefully the delay caught up, but what I did here is I pulled up the holdings, and basically I just added the implied volatility. Again, ignore the fields to the right. I haven't finished doing what I want to do for another video, but here's the implied volatility for all of the different funds. And by the way, if you're wondering what they hold, here's what they hold: ARM Holdings, Astria, CleanSpark, Coinbase, GameStop. That's crazy. Mara, everyone loves Mara. MSTR they own. Wayfair. They own, if you think about it, this is kind of a cool fund in a way, because they're doing options on funds you would most likely never dare to. So putting them all together, sure, you're more diversified, but it's certainly very dangerous. So I have not bought ULTY myself. I'm not going to lie. I got to think about it a little more, but let me do some more coverage before we talk about that. But anyway, I just wanted to capture the implied volatility of each of the underlyings, and here it is, one by one by one. But in the end, I wanted to get the average, and the average implied volatility for all of the funds is 97%. So you figure they're going to yield 97%, right? One other thing. Sorry, guys. They launched on February 28th, and the last declaration was March 13th. So keep that in mind. That was 14 days, okay? With 14 days, they paid out $1.06. So you figure with, 30 days or so, they'll pay out double. So that was my thinking. I'm thinking they're going to pay out, double is 212 or 213 in this example. But I gave them 215, okay? Again, I think it's going to be around 139% yield, even though we say it averaged 97%. But, I don't know. This is my first time really looking at ULTY, and I'm going with the double thinking, and, it could be the low $2 too. But let's go with $2.15 for ULTY, which would be really good. However, their stock, their price has dropped $18.49, so that's not really all that great, but we'll see. One other thing I always like to cover on here, in some of these videos, is to show you, okay, we're going to get paid soon, but what is a good price for some of these funds, right? So if we go to the underlying price and we look at the value, which underlying, because it's good to buy these funds when the underlying is at a low. So as of right now, Tesla is at the towards a 52-week low. You'll see in column H, if it's closer to the low, it would say low. If it's closer to the high, it'll say high. So, and how close to the low? Obviously, it's 15% away from the low. Tesla is 15.94% away from the 52-week low. And then we look at Apple is 30% away from the 52-week low. So obviously, on my swing trading journey, I'm definitely buying AAPX, which is a double leverage Apple fund. All right, let's continue. So what else is on a bargain deal here? Not many. It's always the same ones. Myrna for Murny is at 43% away from the 52-week low, and then AIYY for AI is 32% away from the 52-week low. So not many of them, to be honest. So I just wanted to share that in case you guys were wondering. So anyway, that is my estimate for the YieldMax funds. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as mentioned, next time I'll probably just do it live. I think that'll be really fun. It depends where I'm at. It depends if if I'm doing it at the crack of dawn. I can't do that because I'm going to wake up the whole house. It's not like I have a secret, basement to go to in a secret room that, avoids noise. That's what a garage is for. Although I guess I could bring the laptop to the garage. Maybe when it gets warmer out, I'll start doing that. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. I know someone mentioned, people say it doesn't matter if you say that or not. So, but okay, that may be true, maybe not be true. I don't know. But I think it is good to know, right? People, beginner investors, they may actually need to know that. So either way, those are my estimates. Let me know if you think I'm going to be close on any of these. Let me know if you think I'm way off. Let me know if you're happy with any of these estimates. I'm curious because overall, I think it's going to be a pretty good month. It's not all that bad. These funds are like crazy, but they're so worth it. You pick the right one. It's just really, look at MSTY, look at CONY. CONY has been great from day one. Up and down, up and down. You've had plenty of opportunity to get the dip too. But this crypto bull run is another thing in itself. So either way, guys, please hit the like button. Obviously, if you like these, the estimates video, I'll do my best to make it better and better each and every month. So if you have any comments on how to improve it, you can leave that here, or you can let me know in the Discord. Either way, it's all good. Anyway, I'll get this video out. I'll post it right away, and then I'll let the discussions begin. All right. Have a great weekend. Later.